Sticking with Netflix now, let's talk about Enola Holmes 2. And again,
Oh,
Ricardo, if you don't mind, I just want you to do the synopsis of this, right?
right,
So we covered the first film back in 2020.
right.
We thoroughly enjoyed it. This was, just a vehicle for, Millie Bobby Brown to
Right.
just shine and just showcase her acting and,
Yeah.
just her charms and whatnot. And yeah, it just absolutely worked for me, man. It introduced me to a character from a series of books that I honestly was not familiar with prior to the release of that film. Um, we got to see my boy, Henry Cavill play Sherlock Holmes, and actually a great
Right.
Sherlock Holmes at that, right? Who would have
Yeah.
thought, right? And we had like just a really just a decent origin story in terms of just how Enola, the youngest sister of youngest of the Holmes, right? Because of course we
Yeah.
have Sherlock and we have Mycroft, who for some
Right.
odd reason is not in this
In this one,
movie.
yeah, for some
I
reason.
thought he was gonna be in it, but like they have like a child version of it. I was like, all right, okay,
Right.
like for me, he was not my favorite character in that in that film, honestly. But I mean, 'cause he's a douche. But you get why he's a douche, right? But it's,
Right.
it's still kind of weird though. All right. Um, and of course, there was the mother, Eudora, played by McGill, Helena Bonham Carter,
Right.
and it's just basically about Enola just trying to find a mom, right? And it just lead to just this great understanding about just her understanding the world, just that time period, especially how it treated women, and just her just being independent, standing on her own 2 feet, and just being her own woman, right? And yeah, it was just like just the message of it was just so powerful and timeless, right? But still, you just got some great, you got your thrills, you got some great humor, some great break in the fourth wall moments involving
Right.
Millie, and it just oozed, just a lot of enthusiasm. It was just such a delightful film to watch. That's the best way to describe it. It's just a delight to watch. You have fun watching it, right? I will make the comparison to this in my review, right? But it honestly remind me this new one here kind of remind me of the Robert De Niro, oops, not Robert De Niro, Robert
Robert.
Downey
Yeah.
Jr.
Right.
Sherlock
Sherlock's.
Holmes
Yeah.
films, right?
Yeah.
Which
Mm-hmm. A little bit. Yeah.
didn't absolutely love, right? But I enjoyed them for what they were. They breed they both bred new life into the Sherlock Holmes character. I think that's why I enjoyed them so much, right? So with Guy Ritchie, what I mean, he just loves those kind of stylized slow mo shots and just making everything feel kind of stylized when it needs to be. Yeah, he just brought his own kind of energy into those movies, right? And yeah, I actually enjoy both of them. I haven't seen them in a long while, especially that second one, but yeah, I enjoy both of them. I actually do, right? And I realize now when it comes to like Sherlock Holmes, just that character, you have to kind of go out your way to make it, even though it is a period piece, right? You have to bring in some kind of contemporary style to make it work, right? So perfect example, the Sherlock TV series, starring Benedict Cumberbatch, right?
Right.
Where when we see them kind of figuring out clues and whatnot, yeah, there's always like sped up camera shots and slow mos and all that kind of stuff. You have to make the visual, sorry, really dynamic, right? And that show did that very well. And I saw bits of that though in the first movie and in this one as well too, right? So yeah, before we get to your thoughts, Ricardo, yeah, I really feel like when it comes to the character of Sherlock Holmes, when it comes to the world of Sherlock Holmes, you kind of had to do it in a sort of stylized way, but not in a show offy kind of way, what I mean?
Right.
But more like, all right, we want the audience to have fun with us. It's fun solving the case with us. Yes, this is the clue. Let's go on this journey that these detectives are on, right? And yeah, for the most part, like Sherlock and like the first the Holmes and those two Sherlock Holmes films. Yeah, the Holmes 2 is just continuing that same vibe, man, and I'm really surprised by that, right? But yeah, Ricardo, if you have anything quick to say about the first film before you jump in the second one, take it away.
Yeah, no, I really liked the first film. It was a nice surprise. Didn't expect it to be as good as it was. Millie Bobby Brown is a star. She really, really holds it. Again, what she's good with, and you see a lot of that in this one as well. She's very good with not only good comedy timing, but good physical comedy as well. Just little body movements and little ticks that make her really, really funny and clever and make it work. And she really just, well, she charming and just hold the show on her own as the star, as the main thing. Like, nobody else upstaging her or anything like that. She's the star. She is effectively a vehicle for her, and it works. It totally works. The first one is just such a nice surprise, nice mystery, nice plot and story, and they make it work for what it was. Let's get into the second one. I don't like it as much as the first.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, folks, we're gonna have a debater. We're gonna have a
no
debate.
problem.
But here,
Yeah,
go on.
don't like it as much as the first, but still pretty good. Um, but I can't say I like it as much as the first. But a big factor as to why probably is just as simple as, well, I kind of already in the space of the world, so it had a wow me. While the first one was a big surprise, like I was just so surprised by the first one being as good as it was. So like in my head, I was like I enjoy it more now. But this one, if you think this one is better, like I wouldn't be surprised if you might say something like that. But I didn't. I can't in good conscience say I enjoyed it. That's all I'll say. And then there's a plot slash character thing they do that I'm not the biggest fan of, because I felt they should have done it a little different or better, but whatever. As it was, it's still pretty good. Yeah, that's how I felt about it. Well, the plot itself is that, well, it continuing more or less. I think I forget how much time passed after the first one. A few months, I think. In the last,
About because they don't really say, but it's
right,
established is about a few months. Not really
right.
a year per se, but
So yeah,
about a few months.
Enola, she started up her own thing, she own detective agency, everybody. But then she gets in trouble to get she get in a lot of trouble to get the get clients because nobody could take she seriously. She's too young, she's a woman, blah blah blah. Normal thing. They make a lot of great human jokes about that. And then she gets onto a case with a little girl who asked her, the girl was the girl named Bessie, I think. Ask her sister is missing. But you find out the sister is not a biological sister, and you find out how and why, what she related to, and they get to the match factory, and you learn the whole thing with the match factory owned by this. I forget the guy's name, but basically his last name is Lion, and he had a younger Lion who was, you know, working
Oh,
with
sorry. Well, the younger one is William Lyon, right?
William Lion,
That's the
right?
character before.
I forget the dad's name.
I think it's Henry.
Henry Lion, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so he record profits on this match factory, and they eventually reveal why and the mystery behind that, and then they do the mystery behind what going on with somebody who manipulate the situation in terms of like, well, why does that the the information get to Sherlock in the first place, and then who and what have to get into the aspects of this missing girl and what this missing girl was doing, and everything ties together reasonably well. And they do the job of it's typical thing where both Sherlock and her working, they don't know they work in the same case, they think they work in different cases, but they really just work in the same case from different angles. And it comes together quite well. Everybody works, action was good, story was good, and the ending, I slightly don't really care for the ending, mostly because of how it was done. Not that I didn't like who it
I
was.
could see why. I
Yeah,
could see why. Honestly, I
not
could see why.
not because of the reveal. I actually like the reveal. I like who it was. I like who they got for that. Blah blah blah. I kind of sell it out when I say who and what. But I like the character and I like that person playing the character. But I thought they could have just do that a little better. Like they still reveal it in a thing, but I felt they could have do it a little neater. It felt a little clumsy. That's the only thing. That's the only slight complaint. But it's still good. Like I enjoyed this one as well, but I didn't like it as much because I find the first one just flowed so much better and cut together so much better. This one good, and I like the central story and the mystery and the idea, but it just didn't it doesn't stick with me as much as it could have. That's about it. But I enjoyed this as almost as much as the first one. It's very funny, it's very clever, it's very had a lot of great set pieces. The whole I love the whole section inside the dance area when she went to the party. Great, love that sequence. All that whole sequence builds so well with her and with even Tewksbury. And she and Tewksbury back and forth, very funny and very well done, quite charming for what it is. And yeah, look, Enola Holmes again, Millie Bobby Brown is a star because she does what she does very well is physical comedy, and just her bouncing off and good comedy timing and making it work, and they make it work for in such an interesting way. And like, all right, I can't be mad at any of this. It just genuinely entertaining. She keeping the attention. Um, Henry Cavill is pretty good. They bounce off each other quite well. I feel. Um, the mother and what they do, the mother I really liked. She just got a little small moment, but it's pretty good still. And yeah, overall, it's still a very very good film. I just felt they slightly fumbled the end. It's slightly fumbled, not a major problem. Just in my opinion, a slight fumble. But that's about it. That's how I feel about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, just to touch on the end though, I agree with you. I could understand why you feel that way. I think it's just because it how best to describe it without spoiling it. It's the monologue. The
Yes.
monologue makes sense in the world of the show. That's all you'll see. But I felt like it was a little too heavy-handed. Like, okay, well, we really need to stress why this person would do something like this, right?
Right.
And on paper, it makes sense, but I don't know. It just feels a little too heavy. Again, just too heavy-handed. Like, all
Okay,
right,
wait,
we
if
get the
we can
tropes
get,
we get, but
we could probably get into a quick spoiler section, like you spoiler section for this. But my attitude is that, I'm not saying any spoilers here, but my attitude is that I felt they could have just played it a little more laid back. That's all I'll say. Like, it's characters who just kind of figure out after the fact that X, Y, and Z is part of blah blah blah. That's all I'll say.
okay,
That's
I see. Yeah, yeah. All right.
that's how I felt about it. I didn't mind that they did it because, like, look, I think, and I'll give another reason. I'll give another reason to as to why, but this might spoil it. But I feel putting this character in the narrative, and more like the way they set it up, little sequel BT, it kind of makes it overshadows Nolan's narrative now because it making it too much a Sherlock thing now. That's all I'll say. But
Oh,
then
I understand. Mm.
yeah, and then the other big ending, the other big, well, kind of like about for lack of a better term, a post credits kind of scene in a sense. I really like that because who they get for
Me
it
too.
is
Yeah, I like
another
that. I like that.
yeah, is another person they get is like, all right, well, that's a big reveal there, but it's a good, like, who they got again, great actor, love him.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Mm.
so I was like, all right, well, if they're going with this, that's great. But again, that's not Enola Holmes. I don't know what they're doing. Like, it's still too
All right.
Sherlockina.
All right. All right. So
That's how it is.
okay,
Anyway,
okay. I understand where you're
I'll go
coming from,
stop
right?
there.
But all right. I actually like that about the show. Here's why, right? All right. So for me, why I enjoy the show even more than the first one, because I actually recap the first show, the
Right,
first one, and I would say, yes, yeah, you have to watch the first film, right? Unless you remember every single detail about it, you have to watch the first film, right? Because yeah, even though this one will show you snapshots, I would say from the first one, it does not stop to tell you, well, last film, yeah, 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 right? But it will help if you
right,
watch the first one, right? Um, I like that there was more of a mystery aspect going on to this, right? Because while in the first one, it was about Enola, trying to find her mom, right? And that led into a mystery of its own, right? And it was just, her brother Sherlock just having to deal with it, but he kind of getting roped into what's going on as well too, and kind of helps you out in some parts, right? Here, I do like the idea that Sherlock and Enola are working separate cases, and surprise, surprise, they actually connected, right? I like that, right?
yeah,
And I didn't feel
yeah,
like the Sherlock stuff took over the Enola stuff. I didn't mind that, right?
right,
Now, as far as the post credit scene, though, I do like, and this actually leads to a very very strong team that caught me by surprise. I actually like that too. So this film here is the idea of, well, just in a nutshell, um, even though it's fine, being independent and standing on your own 2 feet, you kind of need help. You kind of need
right,
people to help you out, right? And
yeah, yeah,
especially
yeah,
with somebody like Enola, and especially with the times that she is, she lives it, right? Yeah, it kind of helps that you have people people watching your back. You have people supporting you along the way, right? And I love that, even somebody like Eudora, right? That's Helena's character. Even somebody like her who pretty much left her daughter because she has to fight for the rights of women. I kind of at first I was a little taken away by it the first time I saw it. But when I watch it again, it's like, all right, I like that you just this Avenger, you know what I mean? So you just
right,
going on doing your stuff, and every so often you'll come and help your daughter. I like that. I like that, right? But yeah, even she and all had help, and I like that they got I'm not gonna say who, but a familiar face from the first film shows up. It's like, yeah, I can't do this shit on my own, so I need
right.
help, right? It sounds simple, but the way how it's expressed in this show though was really powerful though. I really like that. So yes, even somebody like Sherlock Holmes, I mean, I believe with most incarnations he always kind of comes off as wanting to do things on his own, thinking that he's better than everyone. Yeah, what happens to him in the end? It makes sense. It makes
Right.
sense. And for me, it did feel like it was okay. Like, all right, well, it's gonna be the Nolan Sherlock Holmes show. No, no, it's just like, well, yeah, this is where his story could stop off, and
Yeah,
maybe we
and
might see him in the third film, maybe not, maybe it doesn't
right.
matter. I don't know, but I like that. I like that.
Well, yeah, like I agree with the character beat, like it's a solid character beat on its own kind of thing, I like, especially with the fact that Sherlock himself told her, though don't become me now, or something along those lines, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
Sherlock,
yeah. He said
Sherlock,
he said don't become me. You might
yeah,
take
it's
a
a
note. Yeah, you might
yeah,
as well
because
take a note of that or something. Yeah.
exactly he's a recluse and a mess and so on so on. And so they make it work for what it was. But again, I don't know, it just a little too much Sherlock stuff in this one. Like there's all I feel
Oh,
about it. But whatever.
okay, okay. Well, all right. Okay. So last moment when me defending that statement, right? Um, I do like also too that Enola starts to figure things out in the vein of a Sherlock, right? Because
Right,
if it's with Sherlock, what do you call it by? It's a term that he used in the Sherlock TV series, the Mind Palace.
right, right.
It's that moment where he just sees a whole bunch of clues and he just point, he just connecting the dots quickly, 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 right?
Right,
He
right,
does that, and then you actually see Enola do a little bit of that in
right.
the third act. I was like, all right, yeah,
No,
she
there's
kind of
a
picked it up from him, like, all
no,
right, yeah.
there's a great moment involved with a certain date, and she is a whole scene
Oh,
where she goes ahead.
that was cool.
That's funny
I like that. I like
when
that.
she
I just love
figure out
how she look at it like for
right,
about 3
right.
seconds and figures
That's a
out like,
funny moment.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a funny moment. Yeah,
that was real good.
yeah,
On the subject of that, though, yeah, just how Millie Bobby Brown again, who shines throughout the show, yeah, just how she bounces off these actors, boy.
yeah.
Whether it's Henry Cavill, whether it's Louis Partridge, who plays Tewksbury, right? If
Tewksbury.
I got the
Yeah,
yeah, Tewksbury, well, I butchered the name. I'm sorry, right? And
Tewksbury. That's all I understand.
right. And I actually do love how their relationship developed in this one here. Because I was expecting it. Because the sequels, you had to get a little bit more mature here. I like
Right.
where they are at right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, it's Anula denying the fact that she had the hots for him.
Right.
And, he like, well, I'm, I'm doing Lord stuff.
Right.
I gotta be all responsible and shit. But deep down inside, he just love this kid. He just love this girl, right? I just love how they do that back and forth, right? And yeah, well, the characters too, and how they work together and all that. Yeah, that absolutely worked. That. The whole mystery itself involving this missing match girl,
Right.
totally worked for me though, and
It's
the
very good.
payoff
Yeah. It's a
absolutely.
solid story.
Yeah.
Solid, and especially that they go into the reference real history now and real events. So like,
Yes.
oh, okay, I like that.
Yes, and I love how, like, even in the opening of the film, they say it's the following is based on true events. Well, not really, but kind of. They
Yeah.
try to hit that in there, but I didn't know what it meant there. But like now, when the end credit scene came out, I was like, oh, okay,
Right.
okay, all right, all right, I like that. And just going back to that same message, that I mentioned before, it was powerful, right? The direction works again. The music by Daniel Pemberton, great as well. Acting, of course, great, right? The antagonist, great as well. I didn't expect to see David Toulis in this though. I was like,
Right.
hey, you in this
Yeah.
too? Again, being
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
creepy guy. Again, like in oh gosh, in Sandman, you just love being creepy characters. All
Yeah.
right, it. The main antagonist though, I was like, all right, okay, all
Yeah.
right, we finally doing this. I like that, right?
And
And
I love
without
who they
spoiling
got for
anything,
that.
I like the twist that they do here. Sorry, the subversion of that character. I like that, but again, is the monologue that this kind of brought it out. Like, all right, we get it, film, we get it, but okay, the character is telegraphing it, is pretty much spelling it out for us now. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, right, yeah. But other than that, though, I just love the inclusion of that character here. Yes, it is Sherlock Holmes. Yes, it does lean towards the Sherlock Holmes side of things. All right, I get that, but I don't know. I guess we had to have this character show up anyway because it is a Sherlock Holmes property. That's the only spoiler I could give. So I guess that's why this character is in this show. But yeah, well, how you say you did like that. It kind of connected to what Enola was doing. I think it kind of actually makes sense, because again, it's not just about Enola, it's about Sherlock as well too, right?
Right.
So yeah, obvious gripe is that no oh gosh, what's his name? I forget the name already. Sherlock brother.
Mycroft. Mycroft.
Yeah, no Mycroft in this though. Like what, he was busy or something. I mean,
Yeah.
Henry Cavill's busy, and he get. I mean, he would he get to show up in this, so why not that actor? I don't know, right? But yeah, for me though, this was just yeah, just a really enjoyable sequel to the original one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just kind of update things just develop things in a smarter way. Just keeping that just that level of intelligence, human wit, and all that kind of stuff too. It just elevate things in a smarter way though. I really love the fact that it felt more of a real mystery than just, even though again it's a missing persons thing, but still it just felt more like a mystery than the last film, right? Also where the characters are and where they're taken in this, I really really admired as well too. And of course, yeah, just where it ends and all too. Yeah, I mean, of course, you gotta get the third one. I'm not sure when, but I can't wait to see it, man. So yeah, I actually enjoyed this one actually a bit more than the original one. Believe it or not, I just
Okay.
kind of end up enjoying it a lot more, right? So rating wise, I'm gonna give this a decent or strong 4, man. I really really enjoy this, man. I don't see this right now as a best of, but this certainly will be an honorable mention, by. And if you enjoyed the first one, then trust me, you're gonna love this one here. And even if you're not like, like if you just kind of look at it at this the whole Enola Holmes franchise and thinking, it's just some feminist shit. No, there's some deep layers to this as well too, man. And it closes to well, pretty much gonna echo like what you said last time with the first Enola Holmes film. I would love to see a film series out of these books, in the long run, man. 'Cause
Sure.
yeah, I think that Harry Bradbeer, yeah, is onto something here with these Enola Holmes films, man. So yeah, I can't wait to see the next one. I can't wait to see part three.
Yeah.
So yeah, final thoughts and rating.
Yeah, well, I'm in you, but I'm similar attitude towards you. I just kind of inverted on the whole first one. I prefer over the second one. That's about it. Um, it just again because of the ending. I think the ending because of the ending fumbling it a little bit, but it still really works for what they're trying to do and go for. Can't be mad at any of that. Nothing in it is bad or anything like that. Or any major failures or form. It's just the ending. I really felt they could have played the ending a little different, a little, for lack of a better term, cleaner. That's all I'll say. But that's about it. Still dug the hell out of this one. Again, all the good scenes, good stuff. Millie Bobby Brown really holds it. Henry Cavill's pretty good in this as well. All the side people are good. Even what's her name? Bessie, the girl who played Bessie, the young girl. She was pretty good.
Oh yeah. She looks
Villain,
familiar though, for some odd reason.
yeah, the villain pretty good. What they do with the villain and well, it's multiple villains. But yeah, my boy with the cane was real hard and funny. He was just
Yeah,
a
that
good.
that David Toulis character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He just goofy as hell and making it work. And they make it. That's just a general good, great outing all of a sudden. But I can't good conscience say I prefer it to the first one. That's all I'll say. But yeah,
Okay,
rating.
fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, rating. I'll give it like a 7 out of 10, 7.5 mostly. Um, but yeah, 7 out of 10.
All right, nice.